Take 101.
101, as always. What's the Satori? Are we back?
Let's not jinx ourselves.
2022.
Yeah.
Fire in the boot.
Didn't realise how long it's been since we've done one, but we've just been out the door busy.
As always.
So
good to be, man. Good to be back as it was. Absolutely flat out.
we'll try to do it more regularly. We'll see what happens. Hopefully.
So happy 2022. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
That's it past it now.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a weird one though, because normally, the last 2 Januaries previous to that were all messed up anyway, weren't they?
All sorts of messed up.
21. No, just 21 was. 2020 was alright. But like a normal year, very busy. People do New Year's resolutions. They come in, they do them. They get a good start to the year. This year, the amount of people that we didn't see the first week and the second week because they either had COVID or were close contacts was unbelievable. So a lot of people, they didn't get the start to the year that they wanted. That's something I was trying to drill through to people at the start of this month. All right, you didn't get the January you wanted, but
the
it's still
settled. The unicorn settled back down, so give it a crack.
It's still very early in the year. Don't write off the whole year just yet. It's still February, and it's still plenty of time to get stuck in and get the train and get what you want from the year, because good chance next January is going to be the same again. So don't put it off. If you want to train, you want to get back in training,
just don't wait.
Yeah.
If you wait, you're late. Just get up and go. Like you always hear people saying like, "Oh, I wish I started when I was younger, and I wish I just made the move, and I wish." If you're looking to train and benefit yourself mentally, physically, all the rest, just get up and do it. Whether it's any club, just whatever, one foot in front of the other to start, but it's just starting.
Yeah, it's good one that you mentioned there, mentally the benefits of it. Like we're noticing, all of a sudden I thought coronavirus is gone. Apparently it just went.
See when you go into the shops, the screens are gone. That's what we're trying to notice. You go into the spar and the coffees, not all the screens are out, so the screens are out.
If it's gone, but how can it just vanish that fast? But anyway, we're noticing more and more people, the effects it's had on them mentally. Like when just the other day we had one there and it was just like, what is even happening here? Like obviously the lockdowns and too much time on social media has got to this guy, and it's happening again and again and again. So just make sure as much as possible that
people need to be careful, because it was a long period of time. It was give or take, we'll say 2 years, whether it was on or off, or that'd be fair. A year, 6 months, 2 years. A lot of people were getting a lot more money than they would have been used to, or stuff in that for basically like helicopter money and sitting at home money. It's to create a feel good factor so that you don't act out, or you don't rebel maybe, or you don't. It's basically to keep you quiet money, So that was being fired out to everyone, and a lot of people were receiving it, and a lot of people on the 350 and stuff. Now that the pandemic is over, people might have to realise again what you have to do to earn €350. It's probably €400 tax before tax.
Yeah.
So
plus, if you're going somewhere, your lunch money, your travel money, your transport, and your tax on top of it, like you're saying.
Yeah, so to get 350 cleared in your account, or to get €400 cleared in your account, it takes a bit of effort, it takes a bit of work, it takes a bit of knit and grit, So I think that's what we'll find people find it hard to adjust back to what reality was, or normality was before COVID, because the last 2 years was just a bit of a delusion, I think, for everyone.
Mad times.
Yeah,
but also the break that training can give you from it. Like if it was affecting you a bit, and you come down, you do an hour of jiu-jitsu, it's like an hour of meditation basically.
It really is.
Yeah, and you get the physical benefits from it at the same time. So, because a few people were saying that's what my head was wrecked, and just got a few weeks of training in and feel great now.
Feel different, there's lads saying they were driving home from training, and whereas lads would be cutting across them or stuff, they were just laughing or giving them the right away. Go on, mate, it sets you up, and I'd be a big advocate for training and staying positive. But I even got sucked into myself. Like we weren't able to train because we weren't allowed into the building. I had mats in the house. John's living.
I was until there. You weren't allowed to cross the border.
So it was right. Well, then Giannis was gone to Lanzarote for his stint. So then I had 1 or 2 other lads. But they were kind of like, well, I don't know. Maybe they had close contacts with other people who had underlying health conditions. So it just was awkward to roll.
Yeah, there was so many unknowns at the time.
I really should have.
In hindsight, we know more. But at the time. There was all the unknowns about it. People saying, sure, if you've done it, you kill your granny.
Your granny will be done it, and everyone else's as well. So we're back in. We've been open 6 months now. August, September, October, November, December, January, first week of February. 6 months. Feels like nothing changed really.
Yeah, getting there. It's a lot happened in those 6 months, isn't it? Just getting back into good routine, bit by bit,
Because we got thrown as well. We were allowed. We were trying to run the events, and we got thrown off a little bit. That all right, from September 25th you're allowed events, or September 1st you're allowed, like last week you're not allowed events, September we had all these events and planned to build up. Next thing, right, is are allowed events, but you're only allowed 50 people at them. So it was never a change in chop and stop and chop and stop and chop and stop.
Yeah. And so also we had such a good rhythm and stuff with running the comps previous, we forgot. Like you got out of the rhythm a little bit, so you had to build it back up on top of the chop chart.
And then, on top of it, and then I will never forget, I actually will never forget to run the Dublin International Open of 2021.
Yeah.
The amount of focus and the amount of energy that was put on COVID-related bullshit.
Yeah. And again, different times. Well, sure, it's only fucking 6 weeks or 8 weeks ago.
But like jump through all the hoops, so all the concentration that usually be like, are our kids ready? Are our kids? Do they all have RIKs? All that was just gone. It was just lining up for a venue or lining up for the government.
That's it. Like if we didn't check the COVID certs, for example, we weren't going to be allowed to run it.
Run it, yeah.
And which we did. We like whether you want to check the certs or not. Like some people are having a go at us, and we're like,
what can we do?
It's completely out of our hands. If we do not check those certs, because they were spot checking us as well, we will not be allowed to continue to run this event. Same thing with the insurance. If you don't have it, that you're doing that, then you're not getting insured. You don't have insurance, you're not getting the bill, you're not running the event, etc., etc. So
yeah, a serious knock-on effect. But anyway, all that's last year. We're absolutely flat out this year. Thank God I think we've done a little bit on that, on the San Francisco, what we done to get our black belts.
Can't even remember what we done or what not, but yeah.
We know what we doing. But the black belt certificates came.
Yeah,
Will I go grab one now? Leave the shop. Will I go grab one?
Nah, we'll just go up a picture of some stage. Yeah.
But nice to see the actual certificate land.
Mm-hmm.
Black belts, I'd be orange, Jiu-Jitsu, done the JGF certs for the walls, me and John got ours, so it's a nice little thing to have out in the reception. And we always said it, like, you can only go back, or only go up your belts, you can't go back your belts. We were never in a mad rush to get up through the belts, but anyone else that had a black belt seems to be the be all and end all. So now we have the black belts as well. So
the thing was, we'd already done so much martial arts, like I had 2 black belts before, so you kind of know the process a bit more, so you can enjoy it a bit more.
And I think there's a way falling off the rack. And I think for me personally, like, I don't know about you, John, but when I was a blue belt and a purple belt, blue and purple belt mostly, brown belt not so much, but we've done a lot of rolling with other people. There was a lot of going to other gyms. There was a lot of Team Ireland training days. So I'd often be rolling with brown and black belts as a purple and brown belt. And if there was ever brown and black belts on the mat, I wouldn't go over and challenge them, but I was always trying to stay close so I get a roll with them. So by the time I got my black belt, I'd been rolling with brown and black belts the whole time anyway. I wasn't hiding at my belt, so it didn't feel much different for me to tie the belt around my waist, because since blue belt to purple belt, I've been rolling with black belts in Ireland, hanging with them, tapping them, getting tapped, but at least holding their own. So it was always
even from blue belt, like a good, because we competed internationally, like a good international blue belt level competitor is close enough on the mat able to hang with black belt domestic competitors. Like, and we saw that ourselves when we were training. Now, of course, there is blue belts out there now that will give you a run for your money now to wear black belts as well. So not to sound big-headed, like, but it is what it is.
System. I won't tell you what's going on in here, but there's 1 or 2 lads in particular. Like, and it actually, I think it's actually quite stimulating because it keeps you thinking. They're bringing up mad techniques, constantly other techniques, and it would remind you of the amount of stuff we done. Like,
that's it. And even stuff,
we would have been doing big no-gi blocks,
Yeah, well, just the stuff they're doing, but we'd be thinking stuff like even just some of the stuff you were showing me earlier this morning, I wouldn't have thought of, and then I thought of some other stuff that I was telling your man Brannigan there that I've been working on the last month or 2. Then Archie and Jake were over here doing stuff. 1 or 2 of the transitions and submissions Giannis were doing, like he just came up with himself as well. Like, so it's great to see, like we always encourage that, like that sort of development, creativity side of things.
Show the menu, they'll pick the dish.
And I help encourage them along a particular path as well of development that'll suit them. But that also touches back in with the black belts. Like we always said, it's only going to be a matter of time before we get the black belts, and for all you guys as well, it's only going to be a matter of time before you guys get it, because it's not that long. Like you forget a lot of time. We started the club, it's a while ago now, but we started the club with blue belts, and that was the standard in the country. Now there was 1 or 2 black belts or a couple of black belts at that time, but we were the only club in Blanchardstown at the time, and like you're talking about a population of over 100,000 people, one of the fastest growing suburbs in Europe at the time, ended up like as blue belts, just gone purple belts, like as a big gym by European standards, not even by Irish standards, but we always told the guys, okay, we're only blue belts or purple belts, but the programs we had in place were good enough side by side with some of the international programs that you see, because I researched them as well. And we always told the guys, only a matter of time before we're going to be black belts, and if you just keep showing up, everyone's getting better, you're going to be a black belt too. So it's nice to be able to show part of that process. Yeah. We all knew it was going to happen, but it's nice to have some proof of it going that way as well.
But one thing I zoned in on that you always mentioned a lot more than me was consistency. Just consistency. And if you're consistent over a long period of time, you can be there for a long period of time, but if you're not consistent, you might still get the belt, you might still get whatever, but you won't be of the level you could have been. It's just that consistency of every day just trying, like, oh, I'm sore, right, well, I'll go down and I'll work my rehab. All right, well, I have a comp coming up, right, and I'm working my comp game. All right, grading's coming up, right, I want to make sure all my techniques and my transitions are good. That you're constantly just chipping away at it. It's not just, oh, forget about that, and then, oh, it's comp's coming up, so I better dust off the gi and jump in. It's just the 1% every day. It's so hard to do. It's so hard to do.
But so hard not to do as well, though. I find sometimes, like if it was a choice of doing that, it is difficult. Trying to be good at anything is difficult to do, but not bothering being good at anything for me is way worse. way worse. Because we were only talking about this the other day. Imagine by the time you hit 40 or something like that, if you have a midlife crisis, you're looking back at it and you're like, what did I actually achieve in my life to date? And you're just gonna be like, oh, nothing. Like, let's hit the bag here. Like, you know,
people look at the money they've spent or whatever. Like, but if you get to 40 and stuff, it's just like, Jesus, I don't have that much savings, or I don't. And most of the money has gone across the fucking bar. Like, you know what I mean? Like that. Most of my finances has gone across to a barman across the bar. Barman was a girl.
Pissed up against the wall.
And then you're thinking, oh, Jesus, what did I do? So,
you know well what you done.
I'm not saying the other side, like, start, but like, the other side of it is the investors of today. Like, every 16, 17 year old has a Bitcoin platform and a crypto platform. That doesn't mean that you're doing other stuff either. I think you just need to find what's good for you and just stay at it.
Yeah, definitely. We're very lucky in that we genuinely believe in the benefits that martial arts, specifically for us, MMA and Jiu Jitsu, can give to people and to society as a whole. And we're lucky to be able to, like, the amount of kids and teens Pat's coach in the community is unreal. Like, it's at least up around 1,000 now people come through the door. Now, some of them might only come down for the trial class, which is grand. You try it, okay, like, vast majority of people that do the trial class will come back and do more classes. But someone might be like, oh, not for me, I want to do basketball, I want to do whatever. Whatever, you help someone get to know themselves better and, like, get on a path of personal development and improvement.
Just positive.
And then some of them in here for years and the benefits they have. And it's not just in jiu-jitsu. A lot of people forget, like, developing yourself physically and having that physical training helps your cognitive ability, helps your mood, equilibrium, everything, helps with your results in school, how you interact with people, helps everything. And that's what we can stand over, that we help facilitate that in people. Like. And obviously you more so because people are more impressionable at a younger age. Pat does more of those age groups, so that would be of more benefit to people. But we have that in the back pocket for life, that we've done that.
And have been doing it. Like, next year's going to be a decade that we've been doing it.
Yeah, but like, that's only a decade here.
Yeah.
Like, when I was 13, I was assistant coaching for karate. And remember, you probably were 14 then, or something like that.
But in our community, and
and that was like, we were still down there, it was just smaller level, it was just only a little help, and now we're helping more, and hopefully that will continue into the future.
And it's you can look at it at two sides, kind of like, but when you see some of those teens coming through, or kids that came teens that maybe the knockdown affected them a bit, whatever, but they came back an adult, and then they've been training the last 6 months. It's scary how good they are. Honest to God, they're 18.
Oh yeah,
17 and 18 year olds.
Sure, we didn't know what we were at, like, at the start. We didn't know. We just had to do trial and error, banjacks ourselves,
remember
figure
that
it
time
out.
we learned the berimbolo? Remember that day?
Yeah.
It took like a day to learn how to hold the ankle.
The funny thing was, like, that berimbolo, I forgot about that. I wasn't there, but I think it was, we were training down Dublin area at the time. It was Darren Chris had gone to a seminar with the Mendes Bros were in Ireland. I don't know who got them over, but someone did. And they'd done a seminar on the berimbolo. So the guys came back from the seminar with the knowledge, and they went to do it. And I was partnering up with Chris. Chris, lady runs a club down in Brain now. And the guys were doing berimbolos, and I was just looking at it, and like, they couldn't figure out how to do it. And I was looking at it, tried a few times. I was just like, I'm practicing something else. Like. Yeah. So me and Chris, who was at this seminar, paid whatever it was, probably 50 quid. We just went and drilled. I can't remember what exactly we drilled, but we got some training. And it took a good like 30, 40 minutes, but eventually the guys did it, and then they were able to do it. But now, like, we can show someone who has only done a few classes how to do a berimbolo to that standard and easily better in a couple of minutes, if even, like. You know, it's just a different. And I can only imagine how difficult it was for people who came before us. Like,
remember Niall coming back from, was it Chico Mendes' place in Brazil?
He done a bit in Checkmate, but he was mainly in Gora's place before.
And, like, they're playing like mad on the playa games, just like well ahead. It's just like, what the fuck is that, man? Like, I'm not going that way. Like the tornado. Remember one day he went in underneath and done a tornado sweep. You know, and just kick you.
You wouldn't know what you're doing. Just like, where am I
going? What is going on here? Like, that's not jiu-jitsu. Yeah, it's savage the way it's immersion.
Yeah, but then we've been trying, as difficult as been, we've been trying to get to that level all the way along. Like you obviously went back to college and done a degree in coaching. I've been studying like so much stuff for so long now, like, and we're getting to the stage more and more. I think I'll be seeing it as we go, because the program that we're implementing now, like the results you might not see for 6 or 12 months, but as we go, you're going to see.
You might not see for 6 or 12 years, but
you'll see some of it a bit sooner, but some of it a bit longer. But like we're getting to that stage where like at least we're comparable. The technique we're able to do, our understanding of jiu-jitsu, the competitions that we have, the progression that we have for people through the club, through the belts, through the competitions, is all becoming more and more part of it. And it's good because we saw people doing that in other sports. Like obviously we done like kickboxing with Roy Baker and that, and you can see how he set that up, like where people can go from. Yeah, he's still doing it. People can go from no training whatsoever to where they can be a world-class international competitor in that sport. And that's something that we still haven't nailed in Jiu-Jitsu in Ireland yet, but we will. But thankfully guys have done it in MMA, so fair play to them, and we can learn from that as well.
One thing I think I missed a lot as well, that the people, because we talk about the benefits of the club and progression of Jiu-Jitsu and stuff, is just to have somewhere to go. Like we have the no-gi classes on Friday night, and the gym's open till 8, 9 o'clock on a Friday night. Saturday morning we're open at 8:30. There's people rolling till 2, and we're hanging around a bit 2 till 3. Most people are going home 2 or 3 o'clock or whatever. But there's so many people that just don't have somewhere to go on a Friday, Saturday.
Or
so
even
they
if
go
they
to a street corner.
Even if they don't have, even if they do have somewhere to go, a lot of times it's a bad influence.
Like, and they mightn't know over a long period of time, but if you go,
it's just what their mates are doing. The mates are going down there
next Friday, and I've seen it firsthand myself. Like, you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's as simple as that.
That's the thing for me. Open mat is better than any night I ever went out clubbing. Like, open mat is savage. Like training Friday night and on Saturday, you get the tunes going, you get good training in, and it's deadly.
It's different, less kind of Monday to Thursday. Fridays will be really structured, but Saturday is just a bit of a, what the lads used to call it, a free gaff. Like open mat is a free gaff, like, you know. So like, I'm really lucky.
Anything, like any night I ever went drinking, like that's what I don't understand, because it looks good on Instagram or something. You put up a picture of you with a point or something. It's not that good compared to some other things that you couldn't do. And like if you haven't experienced that, you haven't experienced like good training open mat, that feeling of freedom and self-expression that you have when you're rolling. Because I've had many a point, like, and none of them are as good as an open mat. Like it's as simple as that. Like.
Yeah, so no, thank God we're back open and going.
Time one. What else have we got going? Yeah, the guys have been competing well anyway off the back of that. If you want to say anything about the comps.
Yeah, so well, too much, I don't want to zone too much in, but like, so we got the comps going back, and we laid out a nice base over the last kind of 6 months again now, never mind the last 9 years previous to that, or 7 years previous to that.
Yeah, you forget how many events have you run?
I don't know, like we're on 17 kids, 17 grassroots, 6 MMA, we're on the 9th Dublin Open International, so there's that in itself. Then we have the summer smackdowns that we've done, all the summer events that we've done, sub-only, the quintet. It's
the nags that
we would have had to help out, and it would have been, like we're over 60, 70 events, would have been definitely. Yeah. But anyway, wait till it's 600, 700 events. But so we got the foot back in, and then this weekend gone, we had a very good competition in the gym. It was kids and adults, grassroots 17 and National Children's League 17. We had about 250, 60 competitors, and most importantly, we had about 20 Satori competitors taking part across the board. So for them to just be able to come to their club for a local competition and to perform, I was saying it was the first time I'd seen it, really was rewarding. Like the first time I'd seen it in 2 years, like 2.5 years. Kids, teens, adults, no real agenda, just down for the crack, want to compete, win, lose or draw, it doesn't matter. Most of them winning. thank God. And smiles all around and good buzz and the camaraderie. There was 5 adults, and they haven't been training that long. The 5 white belts in particular.
Yeah, we've got a good bunch in like since the lockdown. So a lot of the guys are just August. They're doing 2-3 hours a week. That's it.
Yeah, and they all they're all of similar size, similar kind of level, similar kind of.
It's good that we have that ability now though. If we get guys in that are training 2 to 3 times a week and are in okay shape and are put in the work in the training session, it's only 2 or 3 hours. They're able to compete on a national scale within 6 to 9 months.
One thing I noticed though, I haven't talked to all the lads in that group, but 3 of them in particular, they watch jiu-jitsu on their off time. So when they're in work, they're training whatever Tuesday, Thursday, maybe Friday, Saturday. But Monday, Wednesday, when they're in work, they're watching a bit of jiu-jitsu on their break or whatever, and it's just absorbed in which you need to do. They're always learn by watching, learn by doing, learn by listening, learn by whatever example. But they perform really well. The camaraderie has gone up between them. And just a good buzz. So well done to them. That's the type of thing that goes without thanks, maybe. Lads competing and clicking in the gym, but it's all part of it. Good teamwork, good team morale, and just a good buzz.
Yeah, absolutely.
So going forward, that was enough with them.
The importance of it as well, like that they're getting down and competing. Like a lot of time, it's overlooked. Like, and the importance of competition for the development of your game. Like, if you get in and you're training 2-3 times a week, then you get to go and do a competition just every 2-3 months or whatever. It's just like it's more of a pressure test on what you're doing, so you can see what's working for you and what's not working, and then go back to drawing board and recap on that. And that was something that was like Pat touched on there. It was very it's friendly competition. You're coming in, you're training hard. Like it's so many comps I've gone to. You see before people getting their arms broken, their legs broken, stuff. And you're like, this is not
no injuries.
This is not going to benefit jiu-jitsu in Ireland.
I actually heard of another, I wouldn't actually talk about it,
but it happens anyway. It's very unfortunate if it does happen. Every now and again, like we've had tens of thousands of matches and we've been very lucky that we've had minimum amount of injuries. But it should be part of it. And also the attitude, like people coming off the mats, they're like, okay to talk to the person they were competing with, thanks for the match, it was deadly when you've done this particular technique. And with the kids, you'll see very few of them crying. Because if your kid is coming off the mat crying because they lost the match, they're probably not going to be training in a year's time. Like a lot of times, it's the parent putting pressure on the kid in order to try get them to win, and they don't even want to be competing. They're coming off ball and crying, and just be aware that we want those kids. They're the future of the sport. If they're crying and not enjoying the sport, they probably won't do it into the future, and that's not good for the sport either. So, a lot of benefits from the competition. A lot of benefits for everyone involved, and let's keep it that way.
Yeah, brilliant. A long time ago, it's a long time since. I remember there was one time that there was I can't remember who it was out, but they were. I mentioned this on What's the Story before. They were literally, the kids were like roaring crying during the match. I was like, and when they were coming off, they were getting 20 quid a match, and €20 into their pocket to smile. Then they'd go back in. There'd be kids running around with €80, but they're probably, I guarantee they're still not doing the sport. They didn't want to be there. It was a big ego thing with the parents. They were recording the matches so intense that they could share on their whole social media, their whole social thing, and paying their kids to compete. It was just a mess, an absolute mess. But anyway, going forward, end of this month we've got the National MMA League, round 6. There's 60 people registered now. It's the week after the IMAFs. So the IMAF trials run over in SPG. We've got a couple of lads going over from here to give it a crack. I think they're all in a really good position. They've been training hard. And they've done R6 MMA. Like we put on a national MMA league because we had lads who wanted to fight MMA, and there was no platform for them to fight novice when we first started. Or very little.
And also just the jump between someone who's trained 6 months in the gym versus who you might get matched at amateur. You might go in and fight someone that has 8 years boxing experience, a bunch load of amateur fights under their belt, and you're going to get knocked out in 20-30 seconds, and that's not going to...
It's a big thing about, like, the Irish love to do it, and like maybe everyone loves to do it, but like at the novice MMA, we have lads signing up for the novice minus 6 months experience, and they're a black belt in Taekwondo, and they've done you know what I mean? And
your man stands out, he almost took someone's head off with
jump spin,
kick,
which is not meant to do
back
either.
kick.
You're in the wrong place. Now we got taken down and submitted very rapid, but it's like you're in the wrong place, man. And for them to, we will be doing a little bit more of that at the desk, where it's like, are you in the right bracket? are you in the right division? Should you at this tournament? Or are you just going to whitewash this tournament and you should be in the amateurs? You know? So it's trying to fill it out, like novice is novice, amateur is amateur, pro is pro. And I seen a quote, I don't know who it was, said the other day that in this day and age, the way the martial arts are, some amateurs are better than pros. 100%. Some novices are better than amateurs. So it's catching up on itself. So we've got so hopefully the lads will go over there and perform. We're looking really forward to that because they have 6 or 7 fights on the leagues, novice. It's their first kind of test, and it will just put into concrete what we try to do, what we try to create.
It's a development platform. Yeah, that's what it is. It's rather than going from 6 months training and then going and competing at amateur against someone with 8 years training, that you have something, a little go between, where it's not full contact striking. There's no one getting knocked out. If anyone tries to get knocked out, you're getting disqualified.
Straight away.
And it's a safe learning curve to help bring you along to being okay at that level, to be able to compete at amateur.
And again, like being like some of the lads that were coming saying, like our gym doesn't have a cage. I've never been in a cage. We just wanted to fight in a cage. So the fact that we have the 20-foot cage is the correct platform. So
and then people watching you, and it's not, but no one's drinking. No one's drinking alcohol. Like people are watching you. There's people on the side of the cage. It is a heightened experience. You're in the cage if you haven't been used to it. But it's not. It's not like people are screaming and spilling points on you when you're walking in. Remember one of the walkouts for your fight, man? There are people all over. I had to clear the crowd, like literally in front of them, or you wouldn't be able to get to the cage. You know, like just come on, lads! Like we're gonna have to fight before we get into the fight. Like
simple times, man. Simple times. 150 to show, 150 to win. All you hear is the cars screaming off, the promoter's gone with the money. Times were different, but good crack. So going straight from the National MMA League, we're going to the Cork International Open. That's 4 weeks out. We're going down to UCC. There's 375 pre-regs at the moment, so we're heading where we wanted to be. We made it a little bit cheaper because it was our first time in Cork. We kind of we were saying we'd be happy if we hit kind of 300. We already bypassed that. It's 4 weeks out. Hopefully we'll be heading for a 500-person tournament, and it's phenomenal. Honestly, it's phenomenal for our first time.
Because it's something we were thinking pre-COVID. I was down there sussing out a couple of places, and obviously it just got away from us with COVID. But the idea was we have been running such good competitions. We have a number of different formats and been working between them. So we're going with the standard format here, but we're trying to think of something slightly different format where you could go around Ireland first. So we're going to do Cork and we have Galway for this year. We're hoping to do Cork, Galway, and then one in Belfast, and then we'd have around and Dublin and whatnot, and then Interlochen Medical, which is a really good idea by Pat. They're linked together, they look class. But if you get a good enough format and people are happy enough with that, you could always go international as well, like go over to England, Wales, Scotland, wherever. So that was kind of thinking behind it, and as we go, we're getting better and better running the comps. Like some of the comps, we run better comps a lot of times than some of the international competitors, like international organisations that come in.
I was very nervous about last Sunday. I was, man. There was a serious amount of planning that went into on crunching and gimmick rollouts and stuff. There's 250 competitors on 2 areas from 9 to 5 p.m. I haven't seen anyone else do it. But the other thing is, we're here, we're like running it where we train. Like if something goes wrong, like say, God forbid, someone got really injured and like the organisers, us, didn't bother getting insurance and stuff, which I know some people have done this. What do? Onto another country. Yeah.
Sure, why not? What's it matter? What's the matter if we mess up the jiu-jitsu scene there? There's money over there in mainland Europe.
Yeah.
Fuck them. We can't get away with that because we set up a club within walking distance of where our family home was, our school was, where we worked, where we grew up.
We're liable for everything.
We're in the community. It's a very small community as well, Jiu-Jitsu in Ireland, thankfully still. And it still will be in terms of more and more people will do it, but all the guys who run gyms know each other. And that's it. You can't get away with doing an inferior service over the long run because it will eventually catch up with you. And then hopefully that standard that we have, we'll be able to bring that internationally at some stage.
Yeah, please God. And the whole of the standard. That's exactly what you're saying, like just coming along. Everyone has the right, it's an open market, everyone has the right to compete, everyone has the right to do whatever they want. It's a free world, isn't that what they say?
I don't know.
But yeah, that just coming along, and I've heard of one or two of the international. I was approached every international event that has came to Ireland. I've been approached to run it. So that's the first one. Like IBJJF, Naga, and the Grappling Industries, and
Abu Dhabi
Pro Trust. So we've talked to them all, we've worked with them all, and a lot of it will just come down to who's going to take the liability. Like for certain insurance policies, for certain companies and stuff, you need to have someone that lives in Ireland, so they need someone. So these they're coming along and they're blowing a load of smoke up a young purple belt or blue belt's hole, just so they can use their family address to get the insurance for the event. You know what I mean? The next thing you have a purple belt or a blue belt thinking, Jesus, I'm on this out on demand here, you know what I mean? I'm doing a bit of organised and the people get a feel good factor. You're just a puppet on a string, like. So I just be careful for everyone that, because we almost ended up going through 1 or 2 ringers because of just, we're bringing the benefit of the country, lads will have the international thing, can just come back to bite you on the hole, so...
yeah, because a lot of them, they don't care, is it Irish Jiu-Jitsu, or is it Jiu-Jitsu in France, or is it Jiu-Jitsu in Spain? They just care, how much money is it there? How much money do we get there? Okay, we can get that out of that country.
Yeah,
Grand.
How
much money can we get there? Grand.
It's literally a spreadsheet, literally is a spreadsheet. So, yeah, so the benefits of the community, the benefits of the country, like the NCJJL's slogan is empower and build the future. That's what it is, like to give some whack to the young lads and build the future.
Yeah.
The grassroots, the road to the internationals, that's exactly what it is, preparing you for internationals. And then our Dublin International Open, our Cork International Open, our Galway International Open and Nationals. Big family days out, everyone's screaming, everyone going mad, but you're ready for them because you done the preparation. So yeah, so after that we'll do another spin on the comps. But next up is end of the month, National MMA League. Week after we're down to Cork. John will be driving the van, and and we'll be going. And then competing ourselves, waiting for the right comps, waiting for the right moment. And we see there's a lot of people going over to the Europeans. Personally, I'm not ready for the Europeans this year. Wasn't rolling enough the last 2 years. Didn't got my knees done, stuff like that. But I'm not going over there to make a load of noise on Facebook and lose my first match.
Yeah, that's it. One. We didn't get to do the prep because we were opening the gym and whatnot, and also the inside info we were getting from it was it wasn't going to be running. So we didn't pencil in, we didn't prep for it. But like that, like the amount of people that go over and lose their first match.
But that's another one as well that maybe we're a bit. But there's so many people not competing in Ireland and then going to the Europeans. It became something in Jiu-Jitsu that it was cool to be over, like you were Team Ireland or you were whatever. But like, if you're not winning the local comps, you're not going. There's a very small chance you win. But
I could understand if someone was doing well and maybe they went and won. I don't even know, like some other comp that's smaller than the Europeans. If they done a number of comps.
Irish comps. You know, like the population in England is 60 million now. We've got 6 or whatever, so you've got a bigger plateau there. So like, you want to be winning nationally anyway.
Yeah, you wouldn't be capable of being able to win nationally. But a lot of people, like, they might not be able to, and then they go to a big comp and lose their first match. But like, they just put up a picture of them at the big comp, and it's like, oh, is that a big comp?
Yeah.
You know. Well, anyway, sure, we'll get there. Build
so
up.
Best of luck to everyone going over anyway. Anyone representing Ireland on the day. Jacob, our main man over in Gracie Bar, Birmingham, he told me he's going out in a few days, so best of luck to Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob won a blue belt. He won a. Did he win? I don't know if he won a purple belt or not. He won a brown belt as well. Yeah. He got silver 1 year, brown belt also.
And then there was something funny with IBJ that year. He ended up over in Abu Dhabi a lot, didn't he? That year, kind of. He won in Abu Dhabi.
He won Abu Dhabi. So ideally, if possible, that's the way to do it. Start when you're young, do a load of training, build yourself up really well, dedicate yourself to the sport, win. At blue belt, then you go up to purple belt. Do well at purple belt, up to brown belt. Do well at brown belt, up to black belt. And once he keeps going the way he's going, he's on for a number of world titles. All going well at black belt level, so fair play to him.
100%, yeah.
Right, well that's it. Enough pipe talk for one day, I think.
We'll see us on the mats, we'll flat out, and see us at the comps. If you don't see us at the comps, we'll see you somewhere.
Us.